Halika, halika! Come and see on Queen Anne Hill where the wind tastes the same as binalonan. For over a quarter of a century, people forgot about me. But sometimes they give you back your name. My name is Carlos Bulosan, but you can call me ALLOS. Here is my grave where I was laid to rest on September 11, 1956. And I haven't been able to sleep since then, and let me tell you why. You see, when I first arrived here, the wind slapped my face telling me to go back home, and so did many Americans that I encountered. Hindi pwede. Once you turn your back on your country, it won't be the same, diba? You may return, but you're no longer from there. Do you know anyone who was born in a different country? Ask them. They'll tell you.
What's your name, kaibigan? That means friend. Kumusta? You remind me of myself when I first left home. Halika, I must tell you a little cuento, a story about a boy who ran away from home. Our land was getting smaller and smaller already. Inay, my brothers and sister moved from the farm to Binalonan. I stayed with Tatay, my father, to help with the farm when I was 7 years old. I went to the village school but would help him in the fields early in the morning and when I returned in the afternoon. He never said much but was always working.
I'll take you to town tomorrow, anak. You live with your mother, brother, and sisters.
Ano po? But I don't want to go to town and I don't want to live with them.
I've done all that I could do. The land we have been working on is no longer ours. We have lost it to a money lender. Wala na akong magagawa.
There's nothing else he can do. Tatay became a hired help for other farmers, and Nanay just had another girl. I had to find a way to help support our family, so I moved into town with her.
ALLOS! ALLOS! Ay! Anak, gising na! Wake up! We have a long journey today. Pusurubio is far and we must arrive before the other market sellers. Otherwise, it will be too late when all the competition arrives. We have several baskets of mungo beans. Go ahead and grab one of them and I will put 3 on my head. Sige na. Huwag kang masyadong antukin.
Pero Nay, even the roosters are sleeping.
They can sleep all they want kasi the earlier we work, the better we profit. Go and get a munggo. Ingat, anak. Be careful because it is very muddy.
Nanay, umuulan.
Rain is good luck. Pahinga muna tayo. Let's sit and rest here.
May dumadating na.
Di tumayo ka. Stand up and sell, anak.
Munggo! Bili na po kayo! Murang-mura lang po. Nay, parang ayaw nila.
Go to someone else. Huwag kang bumigay.
Don't give up. Munggo! Bili na po kayo! Salamat po. Look at their dresses. They're so pretty. And their shoes are leather. That Karamato is beautiful. And the horse.
Staring, anak.
Naku! Look at that woman and her 2 servants. Napakaganda. She's so pretty like a prinsesa. Nanay's staring too.
What are you looking at? Ha! Pwede ba? Dirty peasant.
It is all right. It is all right.
From that day on, I would never crawl on my knees and say, "It is all right, it is all right." I remember her saying, "Wag kang bumigay."
Don't give up.
Besides bringing food to the table, whether it be...
Adobo or paksiw with bagoong?
Hoy! Leche! I also had to work to help pay for Manong Macario's high school education in Lingayen. Manong means older brother and he was one of them. We lost a hectare of land every time we paid for his tuition until there was no more land to sell. Macario was the only one chosen to go. Our family could only afford to send one person to school. There were 5 of us boys and 2 girls, Leon, Luciano, Macario. He was the scholar. who always read to me before bedtime.
He delivered his people to safety in another land. It happened a long time ago. You see, Moses was a wise Jewish man whose moral code was obeyed by people for centuries.
Is there someone like him here in the Philippines?
Oh, yes, ALLOS. His name was Jose Rizal. In fact, before his assassination on the eve of December 30th, 1896, he said these final words.
Adios patria adorada, región del sol querida, perla del mar de oriente nuestro perdido Eden, a darte voy, alegre, la triste mucha vida. I have perceived a little light, and I believe it is my duty to show it to my countrymen.
I want to be just like Rizal. Soon, Macario left again for Mindanao and eventually came here to the US. Now, I also had another brother who would end up here but led a completely different lifestyle.
Psst!
Hoy!
Leche! Puisit, this carabao won't move away from the tree!
Amado. Have patience, Manong. He's the other one.
Ano ka ba? It's raining!
Kite-kite. We called him that because it means someone who is always itchy and couldn't stay put. Amado is the city boy.
Ayoko rito! I don't like living, breathing, and eating on a farm!
Manong kite-kite! Halika na! Stop running! Come back! Nanay, Amado has left for America and Macario's been gone for...
Alam ko.
It's my turn to go.
Sigurado ka ba?
I'm old enough. I'm 12. It's only a couple hours away. I will send money every month.
Anak, mag-ingat ka.
Opo,
Pero huwag kang bumigay.
be careful but don't give up. Have you ever seen your mother cry? I just turned my head and walked away. Baguio, a mountain city, like here in Seattle, especially when the fog comes to visit in the morning.
Hey, you! Oh, yes, you, native boy. Come over here. Yes, can I take a picture of you? Oh, right over here by the tree. Sit down. That's it. 1, 2.
Cheers.
Wait a minute. Here you go. Put some dirt on your face. That's more authentic. Say cheese.
Cheers.
Here you go.
That's not going to be enough money. Kumusta? Trabaho po? English?
Stoy! No one ever made money just talking to themselves and sitting around. Halika nga! Oh, let me introduce myself. My name is Dalmasio, an Igorot boy who can teach you the ropes. Now, help me push this wheelbarrow and we will fill it with sacks of rice and kangkong. In order to survive in this city, you need to learn how to speak English. There are 3 very important words you must learn first. Hello, sir! Here are your vegetables! Hello is kamusta. Oh, now you say it. Kamusta.
Hello.
Yun! Thank you, ma'am! Thank you is salamat. Oh, now your turn. Salamat.
Thank you.
Aba, galing ah! Goodbye, bossing! Goodbye is paalam. Oh, how do you say paalam?
Goodbye.
Wah! Naks! Now let me take you to my boss's house. She's American and I'm pretty sure that her neighbor is looking for a hired helper. Oh, now Miss Estrandon is a librarian, huh? So you really have to practice your English.
Hello. Thank you. Goodbye. Hello.
What did you do to your face, dear?
Well, Mom, when I'm not bringing vegetables to people, the touristas take pictures of me and pay me 5 cents when I put dirt on my face.
Please wash it. There's nothing more disgusting than a filthy person. You don't want to look like a dirty peasant. Go along now and return the wheelbarrow, but come back here if you would like to work for me.
She was a painter at heart, an intelligence like no other, and porcelain. Miss Strandon taught me to be adept at general housework, but I knew that I must learn English if I wanted to get to know her, so I continued to learn from Dalmacio, who had an affinity towards presidents. Mom, what happened to Abraham Lincoln?
Where did you hear about him?
Dalmacio, Mom.
Well, Lincoln was a poor boy who became president of the United States. He said that all men are created equal and that slavery should be abolished. Hold on. History. Philippines is now a part of the United States, so you should learn about it. It is your country too, dear. The U.S. is us now. Since you like to read, I think it would be great if we get you a job at the library. It's so quiet, you could hear the stories come to life.
Thanks, Ma'am. Lincoln was a poor boy who became president of the United States, and Philippines is now part of the United States of America. The U.S. is us now. Then, does that mean I am American? It was clear where I needed to go. America. It was a June day in Seattle. Everything seemed so native and promising to me. Tall buildings and valleys next to each other. It's as if I was...
Hoy! Kid! Ano ka ba? You'll get run over by a car standing in the street like that. Come with us to Chinatown. Huwag kang matakot. Ako si Claro. Halika na. There's a hotel on King Street filled with Pinoys. There's one more space in the car for you.
When the seven of us got to the room, two guys were playing pusoy, poker, and the rest joined in except me. Then, two visitors left and disappeared. It was an hour later when they realized that all their money was stolen. I can't help. 20 cents lang ang pera ko. That's the landlord. Naku, what are we going to do? Wala na siya. He's gone.
Calm down, Pinoys! Huwag mag-alala. I took care of your rent. So the owner left. $25? Naku! You're working for me now, huh? Get your hats and follow me. Leave your suitcases here. I'll take care of them until you get back from Alaska. Good fishing, boys. Boss, I brought you 75 strapping young lads. All under 25 years old. Strong as a Carabao. $7.50 each. Which makes the total $562.50. No, sige. I'll give you a discount. Make it $562 even. Huh?
We all worked under this man for a month, and after that was over, he disappeared in the middle of the night. Boss, you want me to sign this? $40 for bedding and luxuries? What luxuries? All we do is work 14-hour days in the fish canneries. There's 15 of us in a room, and the bunkhouses we sleep in at night is unfit even for the fish we catch. What luxuries? Manongs are getting sick because of the ammonia in the machines, and the lighting system is dangerous for our eyes. Something has to change. And when I landed in Seattle second time, all right, boss, deduct the money for the room and board. $13? What am I supposed to do with this? $13 will not get you far, even in the 30s. And what happens when you run out of money? You don't eat. But no matter what, being a hungry minority here is still better than in the Philippines because if you look hard enough, there's always work to be found in America. He's right. It's clear that we have our differences, but we Filipinos must stick together because many have become suspicious of us. Don't forget the two Pinoys who were found dead last week by Sunnyside.
We Mexicanos are on the same boat as you because people are afraid that we are out to take their jobs.
Only if we are united can we put our ideas together.
I've been going up and down the coast talking with our compañeros who only come here during the season, then head back down south of the border when there are no more crops. There has to be another way for them to stay and gain protection. We should create our own union.
Our very own labor union. In 1933, we formed the Cannery Workers and Farm Laborers Union, which later became Local 37 of the American Federation of Labor. This is also where I found many of my lifelong friends and allies, like Jose.
My boss trusts me because I'm a hard worker. Let me convince him to hire the whole group. I'll tell him that we can provide him with reliable men to work in the farms. Mexicans and Filipinos.
There are so many migrant workers scattered all over the country. Leaders like Millar, Ganso.
Who can help organize.
We traveled by boxcars and hitchhiked from farms of small towns called Moxie City, prairie towns like Grandview, Sunnyside, Santa Maria, San Luis Obispo, and to bigger areas like Santa Barbara and Stockton. They are afraid, my brother.
They are afraid of our mighty fists, my brother.
They are afraid of the magnificence of our works, my brother.
They are even afraid of our songs of love, my brother.
We don't allow brown monkeys here in Klamath Falls. Best to go with us. Where'd you come from?
I just want to work, sir.
Don't patronize me. You're Filipino, aren't you? Didn't you see the signs?
No Filipinos or dogs allowed.
That's right. No Filipinos or dogs allowed. We're taking you in.
Trespassing. They smelled like whiskey when they dragged me out of the cell. They got in their car as I walked in front, and whenever I slowed down, they would hit me with the bumper. After 2 days and 3 nights, I caught a freight train to San Francisco. I'd like to build a home here someday, not in Klamath Falls. How can a place so beautiful have so much hate in it? It was like this for a long time, hopping from one place to the other, looking for work. Yes, boss. I'll wash your dishes for $7 a week.
He ran away from that job after 3 weeks.
You never seen me here in Santa Barbara, sir, because I just arrived. Of course I can work in your bakery. No problem.
3 months? Gone.
And in bigger towns, no matter how bad the work was, we'd get dressed up.
I'll meet you there, compa.
O sige. And sometimes we'd get dressed up even if we didn't have a job. A Filipino who has a job in a restaurant or a hotel or a rich person's home would carry his work clothes in a small bag and afterwards go to a gambling house or a dance hall. 25 cents to dance with a blonde. But after a while, it became too loud.
I think it would be great if we get you a job at the library. It's so quiet, you could hear the stories come to life.
I remembered her and found the library. Silence. It smells of knowledge. I was at the library in Lompoc when I overheard Pinoys talking about going to a Landstrom cafe. Curiosity led me there later that night. There's a Filipino smoking a cigar and spitting like a big man into a box on the floor. Manong?
I'm sorry?
Manong, kapatid mo ako.
I don't know who you are.
Taga Mangusmana tayo. Nakalimutan mo na ba ang simoy ng hangin sa bayan? Naalala mo ba nung hinampas mo yung kalabaw sa ulan dahil ayaw gumalaw?
You've got the wrong person.
O nung nahulog ako sa puno ng buko at dinalhan mo ako ng mga dyaryo para magbasa sa bahay? Nakalimutan mo na ba nung hinahawakan mo ang aking ulo tapos tumakbo ka papunta sa binalonan para magtrabaho? Manong kiti-kiti! Si ALLOS ako!
If you really are my brother, tell me your mother's name.
Beteria. Pero ang tunay niyang pangalan ay Autilia Sampayan. Nagbebenta kami ng bagoong atasin sa mga bayan noon. Hoy!
Leche! It has been so long since I heard the sound of home. Aba, look at you. My, have you grown. I had almost forgotten you. Please forgive me, brother, huh? Ay nako, life is tough, Carl. I had a good job, but the depression came. You shouldn't have come to America. Now you can never go back. We are in the bootleg racket. Join us if you like, but it can be very dangerous.
Prohibition. Amado put money in my pocket when he realized that I was not planning to stay and work with him. I left for Los Angeles. He called me Carl. I was on Vermont Avenue at a pool room when 2 policemen shot a Filipino in the back. As I was leaving...
Alos?
Manong? Macario? Hoy!
Leche! Scene of a crime is not a good place to be. Alika na. I have a hotel room on Broadway Street. Stay with me. We'll find work together. There are many rich people here on Wheelshare. We will walk on opposite sides of the street and go to different houses. Knock. Knock on the door. Ask if they need their rugs cleaned. Okay. Now grab the rugs one by one. Roll up your sleeves and your pants. Okay, now beat them as hard as you can with the broom they give you. Harder naman, come on.
And after cleaning rugs, we went back to the house to get paid.
50 cents for 8 hours work?
What more do you want, you brown monkey?
My educated brother, a brown monkey in America.
We have to come from a different angle, Carl. An angle where they don't have to see our brown skin, yet they still hear us. The pen is mightier than the sword. We will fight through our words and publish our very own magazine called The New Tide.
Right. It's as if I never heard that word before. His words ignited a fire inside of me. The pen became my weapon and the paper my shield.
We can speak to millions without ever opening our mouths. Writing is only the first part, but we have to distribute these 100 copies and share them with everyone. I'll ask Pilar and Jose to interview workers everywhere.
Mga kababayan, workers of the field, our stories are in these papers. Read them and talk about our struggle. And make sure to read it out loud to those who do not have the luxury to do so. They too are a part of our movement. The publication of the New Tide strengthened the Filipino Workers Association and UCAPWA, or United Cannery Agricultural, Packing and Allied Workers of America.
Word is getting around. Retaliation is inevitable. Let's meet with Milar, with other labor leaders to set out a plan.
Look, special committees have formed in the state legislature and in Congress to have migratory workers regimented.
They are also trying to dismantle our unionism by telling lies.
Our kababayans in urban and rural areas must stick together.
Then, we will proceed to join forces with our hermanos and plan an all-out statewide strike.
It was a long road ahead for all of us. Jose and I were in Santa Maria when we heard that Milar was having trouble in San Jose. We took the first bus to head over there, but didn't find him.
Hermanos, I come here today to tell you what is going on. It is not only happening in lettuce fields, but everywhere else. If we do not unite, you will be at the mercy of your employers. There is no other choice but to strike.
They listened and they heard. And by the end, only 50 men remained to work in the fields and the rest joined us. That night, Jose and I were at the back room of a restaurant preparing a leaflet when 5 men came into the room. It was too late. Milar, you're bleeding!
There's the right spot. These trees will hide us. You have the rope, Lester? Go on ahead and hit him as much as you want. Stand up, brown monkey. Don't let him wipe out that blood. That's right. Crawl, boy. No one's gonna see you here. Time to the tree. Get the tar in the corner of their feathers real quick. Don't mess with the Mexicans. They're ours. We will make you a brown monkey that flies.
Then they turned to me and did the same. And when they were done with us, they went back to the car and got drunk with whiskey. We escaped, but we had to go our separate ways. I recall avoiding a police car passing. I know deep down in my heart that I am an exile in America. I feel like a criminal running away from a crime I didn't commit. And this crime is that I am Filipino in America.
Mag-ingat ka. Pero huwag kang bumigay.
Don't give up. I found myself in San Jose, where someone helped me recover before I went back to Los Angeles. There are so many white people who showed compassion towards me. And one of them was Dora, who had a penchant for words and whose hair was the color of the sun. She taught me how to laugh again.
Oh, you would be really useful to the Young Communist League.
And what makes you think that? I don't know much about it.
Oh, you're being silly. We've talked about it before. What's that?
It's a poem that I'm writing. It's not ready yet. Dora!
It was not homeward to the first known land, nor escape to white sea sprays blossoming on inland shore, but a vast heritage of war and destruction breaking, too soon for the living and willing to die. It's beautiful.
Really? You like it? I haven't thought of a title yet.
Oh, you're talking about a landscape, but using a body as a metaphor? Landscape with figures?
Landscape with figures?
Oh, write more poems.
I found my voice in poetry, and Dora was the music.
Mr. Bulosan, due to the state of your condition, you have to stay here at the Los Angeles County Hospital.
What?
Tuberculosis. There's a possibility of losing a function over one of your lungs, and depending on the circumstances, we'll have to take out some of your ribs. The cast on your leg will have to stay.
My body was confined in the hospital, but it could not imprison my words. I seemed to be babbling with multitudinous ideas. Even if my body was weak and tired, I locked myself in the room and unplugged the phone, pulled down the shades and shut out the whole world. I knew enough of it to carry me for a lifetime of writing. June 11, 1937. Dear Dora.
The doctors are saying that the third operation was a success. After you left, I ate some of the candies and drank some of the milk you brought. They're good snacks for reading. Books are my only friends here at the hospital. This morning I was reading Gorky's early works. I think the greatest art will appear in a happy world of free men.
September 14, 1937.
How good it is to be strong enough to hold this notebook on my chest and write. Somebody donated blood for me today. Same type, but they wouldn't say who they were.
Death surrounds me here. Visit me. It's nice to smell someone alive. What is it?
I'm going to the Soviet Union, where I was born.
Why would you go back when you've been here for so long?
It's important to have a child born in a land without racism.
You're pregnant?
I leave next week. Keep writing.
Paalam. When she left, I buried myself with pen and wrote. And instead of sending it to her, I submitted it to a publication, just as she had suggested. Then, several of my poems appeared in Poetry, a magazine of verses. It was bittersweet, really, that it took someone that I loved to leave for my words to live on. Hoy!
Leche! Welcome back to Los Angeles, ALLOS. 2 years is a long time. You want some adobo? Maybe some bagoong? There's a small turo-turo on First
I
Street.
need to find a job.
Okay. A friend told me he saw 4 rent signs on Vermont Avenue District. Sometimes they raise prices when they see us, pero we will find a way. Halika na. Let's catch a streetcar.
Hello, Carl. I was in there at the time of your last operation. I gave a pint of blood and I left. They didn't need to know who I was.
Amado, come back and stay with your brothers.
Sure, I will go back to LA. Just like how it was in Mangusmana.
And for a brief moment, it was just like home. But soon,
Who are these people you are bringing to my home?
Manong,
Your home? Huh?
I don't trust them.
Napakayabang mo.
he's right, Amado.
Oh, taking his side, huh?
Sober up and get a real job.
Brothers,
You do nothing
that's
here
enough.
but...
Tama na. Amado, put that knife away. Macario, go wash the blood off your face. Amado, you were going to kill him. I had to do it. Manong, kite-kite. Halika na. Stop running. Come back. It took a long time before we spoke again. And when the copies of my first book of poems, Letters from America, arrived, I went to look for him to tell him the good news. He was at the Temple Street bar with 2 girls. A few days later, he came to my room with a bag on his back.
I've joined the Navy. Many Pinoys enlisted too. Come with me to the station? You don't have to wait.
I do, Manong.
Oh, para sa'yo kapatid. Remember when I hit that Carabao in the rain because he wouldn't move? Your manong is as stubborn.
He gave me an envelope with $25 and a note.
I'm not as well read as you are, but I know that a little volume of poetry can give you something to the world. I could have striven to raise myself as you have done, but life led me elsewhere. However, I'm glad that I remained what I am, because it will give you the chance to see your own brother in darkness.
And if I'll not come back, let me live again in your words. If you want to know who we are soldiers, Navy men, citizens guarding the imperishable will of man to live in grandeur. Kite-kite. When Amado left, Macario walked around the streets restlessly. Even if they didn't get along, they were still brothers. When his feet got tired, he knocked on my door.
ALLOS. I have enlisted in the army. Keep all my books intact because I like to read them when I get back, huh? Oh, no need to get sad. I'm just going away to do my job. Just like when I used to leave for school. Paalam.
Paalam, Manong. My brother's gone, and my health diminishing. A world war in our hands. Well, that's not a good way to end the story now, is it? Is it? I didn't think so, because there were still 13 years of my life. So, right. And that's what I did. Where President Franklin Delano Roosevelt commissioned me to write Freedom from Want, where I recalled and wrote about the laughter of my father, the cry and the dedication, and of course, my story to share and for all of you here to hear. America is in the heart. America is in the hearts of men that died for freedom. America is not a land of one race or one class of men.
We are all Americans that have toiled and suffered and known oppression and defeat. From the first Native Americans that offered peace in Manhattan to the first Filipino pea pickers.
America is also the nameless foreigner, the homeless refugee, the hungry boy begging for a job.
America is the illiterate immigrant who is ashamed that the world of books and intellectual opportunities is close to them.
We are that nameless foreigner.
That homeless refugee. That hungry boy.
That illiterate immigrant.
All of us.
Native born or alien.
Educated or illiterate.
We are America.
We are America.
We are America.
My name is Carlos Bulosan, but you can call me ALLOS.